Good evening. My name is Gary LaMonda, and my persuasive speech is how from state to state, DUI punishments are not the same. Tennessee and Kentucky are drastically different. And what I think is it should be a nationwide law and set of laws where every state to state, they're all the same. And I think after the first DUI, it should be a lot stronger punishments. I feel like the first time somebody gets a DUI or an alcohol driving related issue, either DUI or DWI, the ignition system should be put in place. And that is where it's an inhibitor on the starting system of that person's vehicle. They have to, it's like a breathalyzer. They have to blow into it before the vehicle will start, and that is the only way. If the person is over the limit, which is 0.08, then that vehicle will not start, no matter how many times they turn the key. And then after 2 attempts, there's actually a radio transmitted signal to the local police, showing them that that vehicle is trying to be started by a person that is under the influence. Statistics have shown that after that has been put in place, the number of deaths and accidents by people that are drunk have decreased by 2/3. And I believe that that should be in place. If the punishments were more in depth, I think less people would run the risk of DUIs. And right now, some of the punishments for, well, let me back up. My references are MAD, Mothers Against Drunk Driving, www.gov.org, and law.com. I looked up some statistics on there. All right, punishments for Tennessee. Your license, after the first offense, your license could be suspended up to a year, and your fines range from $350 to $1,500. And then you're in jail anywhere from 2 days to 11 months. And being in the military, I've seen a lot of soldiers that they don't even go to jail. Well, that first weekend that they're picked up, they're put in jail, and then after that, that's really the only jail time that they serve. And then you have 3 shifts of community service or a DUI safety program. And I feel this is not enough. DUIs happen way too often. Even in the military, civilian life, wherever, they happen way too often. In Kentucky, you have to have over 3 DUIs before your fines even reach $1,000. You won't serve any jail time after your first offense and possibly your second offense. And then from your second to your third offense, it's anywhere from 45 days to 1 year. And your license could be suspended up to 2 years, but not suspended at all until you've had your third DUI. Also, the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration. I got some information from there. That's another reference. The Army programs that try to get people not to have a DUI are the ASAP program, which is the Army Substance Abuse Program, where it's almost like a AA meeting for civilians, but they bring in, if you have an alcohol problem or even a drug problem, there's counselors, there's people that you can talk to help you with the problem. Also the chain of command. It is briefed to us every weekend that, you know, be safe, have a good weekend. If you're gonna go out, have somebody with you. And then everybody in your chain of command is expected that if you call because you failed to plan, or if your plan just fell through, you know, at 2 o'clock in the morning, if one of my soldiers called me, I would honestly get in trouble if I didn't go get that soldier if he called and said he didn't have a ride. And I would do that anyway, because I fear that if somebody had a DUI and they were driving drunk, then, you know, it could be my family out on the road, or it could be somebody else that they injured. And most of the time, it's never the person that was drinking that had the accident that gets injured because their body's relaxed, the alcohol's relaxed them, they don't tense up before the accident, and they don't get hurt. Also, there's a designated driver program. A lot of clubs, more in New York that I've seen when I was at Fort Drum and even around Fort Knox, that when you tell the bartender that you're the designated driver, you get free Cokes. So, you know, that's another, you know, it definitely helps. I don't drink, and I like going out with some friends, and when I do, and I'm the DD, and I don't mind not spending any money and getting the free Cokes, and you know, my guys can have a good time and know that I'm looking out for them and I'm gonna help them out. Some things that we could do to help them not have DUIs is I think there should be a stronger police presence around the bars and clubs. I think that some of the bars should have they should be held to a certain level of responsibility when people drink in their establishments and then they go out to the parking lot and they drive away. I think somebody hired from the club should be out there to assist and make sure that drunk people aren't getting in their privately owned vehicles and driving off and possibly injuring somebody. There should be more checkpoints. Most of the time a checkpoint's only set up on Memorial Weekend, you know, those New Year's weekend, those weekends that drinking goes up. But I think it should be an all the time thing. Some of the statistics that I found, taxpayers spend $132 billion every year on accidents that involve drunk drivers. A third of all crashes are attributed to drunk driving. 112 million accidents happen every year. That's 300,000 a day. And a third of those arrested are repeat offenders. And this is the one I found most disturbing. An average drunk driver has driven drunk 80 times before he's ever arrested or caught for the first time. 3 out of 4 drive drunk on a suspended license already anyway. And then if you look right here, every state is listed over the last 3 years, and there has been a decrease, and this is because Mothers Against Drunk Driving has really stepped up with their campaigns and the ignition inhibitor like I spoke about earlier. But some of the worst states are California and Texas, but now these numbers are high. And then the second slide I wanted to show you was these. Every state is listed, and in column B, this is how many accidents. This is 3 years ago, 2 years ago, 1 year ago. And from every state's listed, this is how many accidents or how many fatalities because of drunk driving. And this is how the percentage of drunk driving fatalities. So of all the fatalities in Alaska, 30% are contributed to drunk driving. And then as a nation, last year there was over 10,000 fatalities in the United States. 32% of all fatalities was attributed to drunk driving. And in closing, I would just like to say that I think we as a nation need to get stronger on DUIs, and the punishments need to be more severe, especially after the first offenders. Thank you.